All right, so. Oh no. All right, guys, this is a warm up. Okay, this is a warm up on the board. Yesterday we talked about this, right? We said that if these are two chords, okay, and we said the length are the same, what will be x and y? X will be what? 30. Okay, x will be 30. Why? The lengths are the same, right? So x will be equal to. Hey, the guys at the back, quiet.
Sorry, Mr.
So x will be equal to 30. All right. Now, Octavia, you are talking. What will be y?
Y?
Yes. If those are two chords. Yesterday we talked about the theorem. So y will be what?
70, right?
70. Okay. All right. So you remember. That's nice. 70. Okay. So those are basic. This thing we talked about yesterday. Okay. We call them the using the chord. All right. That's the theorem for the chord. Now, this is a theorem I want to talk about today. Okay. Basically, what I want to talk about today is that if you have an inscribed cone, okay, you see that this looks like a cone inside, right? All right. So this is an inscribed angle, and the angle that is formed on the having a vectors on the circumference is called an inscribed angle, right? Now, the relationship between the arc, the y is called the arc. So the relationship between the arc and x is that y will be equal to 2 times x. Okay? Y will always be equal to 2 times x. Alright? So this is what I want you to remember. Anytime you have anything like this, right? The angle here will be, the arc here will be twice the angle. Alright? So for example, if this is 30 and I have y over here, what will be y? 60. Okay? Alright. What about the reverse? If I do something like this, if I have
60.
Yeah, this is 60. Now, if this is 80, okay, what will be x? If that is 80, based on what we are doing. 40, right? Remember, when it's here, twice of that, right? So, we are looking for a number. When we multiply by 2, we'll get 80. Or maybe you divide 80 by 2 to get 40, all right? So this will be 40 like you said. And that's the first, so it's called an inscribed angle. You see, the principle is easy. One of just multiply one of the angle by 2 to get the other one, right? So multiply this one by 2 to get the arc, all right? Okay. All right, let's look at this. If the angle here, okay, I think the whole thing is for me to rewrite this whole angle. All right, so we are going to make it a little bit more challenging, all right? So imagine that we have this here, all right? Okay, and I told you that the angle here is 50, right? You know the arc will be what? 100. All right, now, if I do this, all right? So we say the arc here is 100, right? Now, look at what is happening here. This is x. What will be x? 50. Why? Yeah, because they have the same arc. So anytime two of the inscribed angles share the same arc, they have the same value. All right? So this is supposed to be 50 as well. All right? So geometry, one of the nice things about geometry is that you have to see things that are not there. Okay? If you don't pay attention carefully, you wouldn't be able to know that this is the same. I have some of my other students, my student in first period and third period say that because it's alternating triangle and some things, but this is what I want you to see. I want you to know that I think it was a good idea they were, but our topic today is how to divide the arc. Man of God. Okay, so What about this though? This is the last one we'll do on this, and then we'll try something new. If I have two arcs, alright, and I say this is 30, and this is 30, and this is y and this is x, what will be y and x correspondingly?
What is it? 60 will be Y.
They both gonna be 60.
Both of them are 30, so they both will be what? 60. Okay? It's one of the principles as well. So it doesn't matter. Just remember that the inscribed angle is twice. Okay? It's always twice. So Modric, where is your note? Well, take something to write on, man. Look, take something to write on. I told you guys. Everybody should have something they are using to write on. Okay? No, not listening. Right. Make sure everybody has something to write on. Guys, mathematics you have to write. Alright? It's not a reading course where you just read. Okay? And mathematics you just don't watch. You have to calculate yourself. Okay? You practice and you become better. I know you are visual, but you have to write a little bit too. Because math is more, it's not like a football match. You have to write it down to remember sometimes. Okay? That's why I disturb you all the time to write notes. Fantasia. Marks on all the time. Christopher, marks on. Huh? Marks on all the time. Everybody should make sure that they have something they are writing on. Do not just be looking at me. Okay. All right. So, in the beginning of our topic on chapter 10, right? Unit 10, I told you that anytime you have something like the diameter, when it forms an angle, it forms a vectors on the circumference, all right? That angle over there is a 90, all right? This is why this is a 90. Anytime the diameter forms an angle on the circumference, it's 90, right? So the angle here is always 90. So if I have a circle like this smaller circle here, okay, and I have something like this, right? The angle that is formed here is a 90 all the time, right? So if this is a 90, what will be the arc, the length of the arc here?
180.
180. All right. Now we already know that when you have a circle, right, the whole circle, what is the circumference of a road? 360. If it is 360, diameter is half, right?
Yeah.
So this is why it is 180. But you notice that we are using the principle we just learned about inscribed angle to find this to be 180, right? Because you multiply this by 2. But generally, we all know that the circle is 360. So half of it will be what? 180. So even if they didn't tell you this, you still have you see that it tallies. So one thing you have to know is to relate two things together, right? So we learned a topic right now that this is twice that, right? Which is 180. And we also know that when you divide it, what's the name? When you divide a circle into two, the angle that is formed is what? 180. So you can relate and agree with it. That's why I like math, because no matter what kind of principle you use, you still get the answer to be the same. Alright? Alright, let's look at this though. This is called, what do we call this? Do you remember when you have a line through a circle, what is it called? Huh? If you have a line like this through a circle, what did we say it is?
Diameter?
Oh no. Diameter is when it's passing through the chord that is passing through the center. I don't know why people only call when I'm in class. Alright. So diameter is when it's a chord that is passing through the center. Alright?
So what's that one doing?
But the line is going through completely throughout.
That,
Remember, diameter is not a line, it's a segment, alright? That is so something like this. You see that it stopped over here and there. It always stops inside the circle. But this one, do you remember what we said it is? We talked about it at the beginning. Now, this is what I want you guys to know. Please, we'll be doing a test on Friday on circle. Make sure you understand the definitions, alright? Or take back quiet. What did I say?
Something about the diameter.
No, that's not what I said. Okay, this is what I'm saying. We'll be doing a test on Friday, alright?
Because you said the whole thing is 360. And it's
No, that's not what I said right now. But wait.
No, but that's true.
No, but yes, I said that too.
Yes.
That's true. I'm saying that we have a test on Friday. Everybody has to understand the definition, alright? So make sure you read the notes I gave you on definition. Right? This is called a secant. Remember we talked about this. Here, this is called a secant, alright? Yeah, I know we have forgotten. We just came back from spring break. I would have forgotten too. Okay? If I didn't study, probably I would have forgotten. I don't know. Okay, so that is called a secant, alright? Now, another thing I want to teach you is that, let's look at this. If you have a circle, right? The three of you there, if I will send you out. You are not serious. So,
It's all wood.
alright, so guys, if we have an angle here, okay, this is an inscribed angle. The angle is inside, alright? And this is X, and this is Y, alright? Then, anytime you have two chord meeting, alright, the angle here, the measure of the angle at 1 will be equal to the average, alright, of X plus Y. That means that add the 2 and divide by 2, alright? Add the 2 angle and divide by 2. Now, Samuel, do not sleep in my class. Call him for me. This is not sleeping time, man. Wake up. Dude, do not sleep in my class. Alright. So, if that is the case, look at the angle that is here. It's the same idea, right? Now they've given us numbers. So what will be the measure of the angle at 1?
Hold on.
Remember that we have to do.
42 angle 1.
So here, here, use this principle to solve this one.
oh, no.
52 or 50?
So you.
It's 50 because that.
Yeah, 42 plus 58 divided by 2.
Is 150.
Perfect. So it will be 42 plus 58 divided by 2. Okay? So Samudrak said it's, and you said it's different.
I did half of them too. You said add them together too. I did 42 divided by 2, 21, then 58 divided by 2, 21.
Oh yeah, that's correct too. That will work.
So that's 1 is 50. 1 is 50.
Yes. So the answer is 50. The measure of the angle here is 50. This will be 50. Based on what we have, okay? So the angle at 1 will be 50. You get the idea?
The other angle would be 52 or what?
Oh no.
What that
We are not talking, yeah, those are vertically opposite, but we are not talking about that.
Oh.
Just concentrate on this angle here. If they ask you, just add them. But yeah, that's correct. Vertically opposite angle. Do you remember we talked about that? You forgot. Anyway, that's true. Okay. Okay, now, watch. The one we just did, you notice that the angle that we are finding was inside. Alright? It was inside. Now, look at where the angle is here. Outside. Anytime the angle is outside, okay, and you have a second meeting each other and the angle is outside. Okay? If you have the second meeting each other and the angle is outside, the measure of the angle is subtract the bigger number from the smaller one and divide by 2. Now, I want to remind you of something. When you are subtracting, never get a negative answer for an angle. An angle can never be negative. Alright? So, if they give you the 2 numbers, subtract the bigger one, like the smaller one from the bigger one. Alright? So if you have 50 and 80, do 80 over 50. 80 minus 50 divided by 2. Not 50 minus
80.
Well, you said
80.
80
So-
subtract 50 is 30 divided by 2, that's 15. That's what you
Okay,
said.
so, yeah, so for example, look at this. Immediately I see something like this, I know the, how do you call it? The angle here is outside, right?
Yeah.
So let's say this is 2, and then they give me here 50, and this is 80, alright? And they want me to find the angle there. Then the measure of the angle at 2 will be equal to 80 minus what?
50,
50, alright? Don't do 50 minus 80,
30.
okay, divided by 2.
So we gonna add
15.
them to this subtract. I mean,
So it's 15.
Yeah, subtract this time. When the angle is outside, subtract. When the angle is inside, add. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look at this angle, it's inside. So what? So you add and divide. When it is outside, you subtract, alright?
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, so you don't have to remember everything. Like immediately you see the angle outside. Look at this one, the angle is outside, the second and the tangent. This one, the angle is outside. So subtract, alright? Outside means what?
Subtract.
Subtract. So let's keep that in mind. Guys, quiet please. Outside means subtract, right? Means negative, right? And inside means what? Add. Outside, subtract, inside, add, alright? That's pretty easy, right? Okay, now let's try and look at some example. No. Alright, do that one, let me see.
This.
Yeah. Is it outside or inside?
It's outside.
So what do we have to do?
Subtract.
Okay, so do that.
So you're gonna do. 15 minus 28.
I don't got a calculator.
It's 20. It's 30. It's 30. It's 15.
50 squared.
It's 15. Yep. 15.
Why did they look here?
Me on God is that in my head.
You not cut like this. Somebody gets on this.
Oh, I was on my phone, so look. Alright, look.
Alright.
How you do it?
But what you already doing?
Yeah, 58.
Yeah. Because it's outside.
It's showing you.
Are we doing this one?
Give it up.
What I do?
You subtract 50 minus 28.
So 50 minus 28?
Yeah.
Okay.
They need a lot of it.
Hold on, hold on.
Wait, I'm doing.
So it's
That's
weird.
30.
So what are we doing?
Divide by 2.
30, yeah,
Why you
30.
need a calculator? Why you need a calculator though?
Oh, the Cardinals signed AJ Green.
You take this shit out of the front.
Hey, bro. Cardinals just signed AJ Green.
I didn't write this shit down.
What is your name?
It's not fair.
That's not my name. That's my name. Say my shit again.
Yo. Where did you go?
What is it?
Why are you late?
I was in another class.
Oh, I got it.
You are in another class.
Yes, sir.
Where is the tardy? You should have something from the teacher showing you should be late.
No, I was in, what's the name, basketball.
Okay. Alright guys. So everybody knows that outside means what? Subtract, right?
Alright.
So the measure of the the measure of the angle at 2 will be equal to 58 minus 28 over 2. And that's what?
15.
You see that? Perfect. Alright?
Ooh.
Alright, what about this one? Look at where the angle is. So this means what? The angle is inside, right?
Yeah, inside.
So let's solve for this one too.
Okay, so you got 52.
You gonna add them to
So we gonna
50
add-
square
It's
feet.
100.
It's 100.
100 divided by 2, that's 50.
That's the one we did before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, come on, bro. How you doing that in your head?
But
Nigga, 48 plus 52 is 100.
Dude, you don't have to. Here, man. Octavia, what's up?
That is some magic, man. No extra credit.
I got the answer, bro.
No extra credit for that.
Yeah, you gotta look at the angle. If it's outside,
Alright, guys.
you subtract. If it's inside, you add.
Shut up, boy.
I ain't never got that. asked? Me. Who asked?
Oh man.
Who
She
asked?
said something about the nigga job.
Exactly.
Tell them what you did there.
Okay, let's try this example. This is a little bit, this one you have to think a little. Now they gave us the angle. They gave us this side. Now they want us to find the x there. Look at the x, right? Now, it's still an inside angle, but we want to find the other side. What do we have to do? Oh, yeah, times 2, right? So, basically what you have to do is that we know the angle here, alright? Will give us the outside, add the outside and what? 72 plus what? X divided by 2 should be equal to 65.
Alright.
Remember that? Because if they gave us these two, then we divide and get this, right?
Yeah.
So that's the same idea. So it means this answer will be equal to 72 plus x divided by 2. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm looking for a number. When I add 72 to it and divide by 2, I'll get 65.
Alright.
Is that not it? Because
Solve it.
look at what we were doing first. We had here, we wanted to find the angle here. And we had 42 and 58, right?
Yeah.
Now, they didn't give us the 58. So we are looking for a number, but they gave us here to be 50. So if I were to be you, I'm looking for a number. When I add it to 42 and divide by 2, I'll get 50.
Is it 68?
No, we're not drawing up
But
the
what?
Yeah, that should be correct.
It's 68.
Cause
No,
72.
not 68. Not 68.
Huh?
Yep.
Not 68.
What is
But
it?
you did a calculation what? It's supposed to be 58. But I know what you are doing, yes.
Yeah.
You are looking for a number when you add to this, you divide by 2, it should give you 65.
72 plus that give you 140 or something like that. Yeah, no.
130.
130. Yeah. And then subtract that. I mean, divide
Divided by
by 2.
2.
All right. So,
I was
do
confused.
you see the idea?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Do you see what we basically are looking at?
Yeah.
Zayden, what are you doing?
Listen to kids.
All right, guys. So basically, we are looking at 2 times this will be what? 130. All right? And that is equal to 72 plus x. All right? This minus 72 minus 72. All right? 130 minus 72 is 58. All right? So 58 will be equal to x. That's the final answer. Right? Forget about what is here. Okay? That's the final answer like Christopher said. Okay? Alright. So now we are going to learn a little bit more principles. Alright? Now we were looking at angles. Now we'll be looking at side. Okay? The length of the chord. Now, if the length of the chord here is A and the length of the chord here is B, and this one is C and D, guys, quiet. Alright? Then you just have to multiply. For you to find the length, one of the length, you multiply across this, alright? Which is A times B multiplied by C times D, alright? A times B multiply across, okay, on the line. A and B and then C and D, okay? Pretty simple,
Yes, sir.
straightforward, okay? Now, example. We'll be doing some example, but let's look at one example here, right? For example, if I have this and this is a chord, alright? And I told you this is x, but I have here to be 2 and this to be 4 and this is 3. Okay? If I want you to find x, right? All you have to do is that multiply 2 by 4, right? So 2 by 4 will be equal to what? S by 3, okay? So 3 times x. Do you see that? So this will be 8 is equal to 3x. And then divide by 3, divide by 3, and that is 8 over 3 is equal to x. Do you see that? Do you see that?
So how you know which one is going to go to which one?
Yeah, this is why I'm telling you that multiply this way. Multiply on the line
Oh.
is equal to this one. Alright? 2 by 4 and the same line, s by 3.
Okay.
Do you see that? Watch what. This is where you have to pay. Guys, pay attention here because most of the students get it wrong here. Multiply across the line. alright? Which is A times what? B. And then what? C times D. The line is very important. Multiply on the numbers on the line. What I'm doing here?
So
2 times what? 4. And
And
x times what?
three.
3. Or 3 times x, it doesn't matter.
So this.
So it's basically cross multiplication.
Yeah.
Cross multiplication, but make sure it is multiply across. Yes. If you can remember that it's cross multiplication, that's a good idea. Okay, cross multiplication, right? We have a math genius here now. Okay, we'll call this to be cross multiplication now. This is your own theory now, right? So make sure in the exam on Friday, remember that you do that. Okay, there will be an exam on Friday, and some of these questions will be there. Okay. Oh yeah, this looks bad. Okay, I don't like this for how this looks. Let me try and. Okay, so let's look at it, right? What did I say? Look at this line. If this is A, this is B, C, D, and E. Okay, look at this, what we have here, right?
It's gonna be outside.
The length, what is the name of this line? AB is called what?
AB.
No, the length, like the line from here to here, what is it called?
That's the outside.
No. But remember that if you have a line like this, how is it called? It's one of those.
Line
Sec-
AB.
Second. Alright? Now you remember. So if 2 seconds, remember, look at what we said. 2 seconds. If they meet outside, alright? If you want to find one of the length, this is what you do. You take the whole length, alright? The whole length, which is AB, not divide by 2, and multiply by the outside one. Okay? No, it's okay. I'm not trying. It's a good idea you are bringing. I don't mind them. And then multiply by the outside one, which is what? AC. Alright? The same thing here. Everything, this will be equal to
Multiply by
everything. Yeah. You see that? Multiply by what?
AD.
See that it's easy.
Yes.
Okay? Everything multiply by the outside, everything multiply by the outside. For example, if I give you an example here, okay? Now I have this, and I have 2 seconds out, alright? And I say find x, and this is 2, so, and this is 3, and this is 4. Alright, see what is happening here. Okay? Now check carefully. The whole thing will be what? What's the whole length?
A2?
X plus 2.
That's
Okay.
an X?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the whole thing.
The whole length. This length is X, and this length is 2. Alright?
What's the top? What's the tilt?
Huh?
What's the tilt?
The what?
The top, the tilt.
Which one? This?
Stop playing with me. At the end, all the way to the left.
This one? Oh, no, don't worry about that one. I'm just looking at the length. Okay. I'm looking at the length. The length here, look, the length here, this length is X.
So X2.
Alright? X and 2, so it's not X, X plus 2. X plus 2. If I told you that this is Nacogdoches High School, right? High school, this is Walmart, right? And this is SFA, right? And I told you that the length from Nacogdoches High School to Walmart is 2, and from Walmart to SFA is like 3 miles. I think here, from here to, in fact, don't worry. So 2 miles from here to the Walmart, and then 3 miles from the Walmart to SFA, all right? And I asked you, what is the length from the high school to Walmart? What will you say? What's the, how many miles from the high school to SFA?
5 miles.
5 miles. What did you do?
Added 2 plus
Yeah, 2 plus 5, right? Now, the same thing. The whole length will be whatever is here plus that.
Yes.
Do you get the idea?
Yes.
Yeah, so this will be S plus what? 2. That's the whole length. Times the outside one. Remember?
Which is 3.
No?
No.
The outside one is what?
X.
X. which is equal to, the whole length here is what?
7,
7 times the outside one,
No.
3.
3. So 7 times 3. And this is the
That's
question you have to
21.
solve.
Oh yeah. X
Okay,
plus 2.
this is a little bit hard. S squared plus 2x is equal
21.
to 21, and you have to solve quadratic equation. But the idea is that you have to do that, alright? I don't think we'll give you something as hard as this. Wait, you are not paying attention in my class. If I see you using your phone again, I'll send you out. Alright, so basically that is the idea, okay? Now let's try another one. Look at this one though. This one is like a tangent. Uh-oh. This is a tangent and a secant. Alright, so imagine that this is J and Y, okay? This is I and Q, okay? Now, the only difference between, remember that the first one was 2 seconds, right? This is not 2 seconds. This is a secant and a tangent, right? So, this is oh, what is wrong with you?
You said what?
Secant and a tangent. A secant and a tangent, alright? So basically what we are saying is that you multiply, so here, you find the square of the tangent, right? The square of the tangent will be equal to what? The whole, remember this is a secant, so we do the same thing we've been doing. That will be what? What did I tell you when you see this you should do? The whole length is what? JQ, okay? Times what? JI, alright? You see what is different between this one? The only difference is you are squaring the what? The tangent. Do you see that? Square the tangent and then do the same thing you've been doing. Alright? Okay, so for example, if I have a tangent here and a secant there, okay, and I tell you that there's, okay, I tell you the secant is maybe the tangent is 4, right? And I want to find x, and this is 3. I want to make this 2. Alright? Now, how do we find x? What do we have? How do we have to set it using this? How do we solve that? Yeah, look at what is there. If you want to find x in this example. What? What will be what? How do you set? Look at this and set this up.
Is it x 2x, x plus 2?
Okay, no.
It's 2x.
2 plus 6.
2 plus x, okay. 2 plus x and what? Times what?
If you do x plus 2 squared.
2 plus x times what?
2 plus x.
Bro, what?
No, 2.
2.
Yo!
Okay?
So,
And that will be equal to what?
X plus 2 and 2 plus 8.
That will be equal to,
It's 4 plus x.
4, right?
look, watch. Here, what is happening with the tangent?
So,
The tangent, what is the length of the
that's what I
tangent?
just said.
That's
2x
4.
That's 2x squared, right?
4 squared or 2x squared. Look, this is 4. The length here is 4. So, whatever length is here, you square it. So, it will be 4 squared. Alright? Do you see what I'm saying?
Wait, how did you do this?
Huh? Because we say J, the length here, square it.
Ain't 4 plus x the same thing?
Oh, you can't see.
No, I can't see because of that thing.
Okay. I think that's why. So Jy squared will be equal to what we normally do for the tangent. This is a good idea you guys do over here. So let's solve for this. What is 2 times 2?
4.
2 times that? 2x, right? This is equal, 4 squared is what? 16. Alright? Now, how do we find this? Minus what? 4 minus 4. Alright? And 2x is equal to 8. X will be equal to what? Divide by 2, divide by 2. X will be 4.
16 minus 4 is 12, right?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Oh, 16 minus 4 is 12.
No, he said it. I said it.
So X will be 6. Good job. X will be 6. All right.
Last one in there.
All right, guys. This is your work now. Find x in this example.
Well, I
Okay.
got you on this one. What?
Find x. Do you remember how we did this
I
one?
remember.
Yeah. Guys,
Oh, no, I don't.
find how. Look in your notes and use the formula to solve for that.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, I do. What?
Find x.
You multiply on the line, right?
Yeah. You look at what you did on your notes. Come and sit here.
Can you come here for a second,
60.
please?
Is it 33?
Oh, my. What? Y'all always get this out. Every time.
I don't get it.
Man, you were doing very well when you came. I think, but these guys are not really having a bad influence on you. You said you're not paying attention.
No, it's right here.
That's like 4 or 6.
Is that the local note?
It's right here. That's what we did today.
I ain't even been talking to him.
You didn't even write the formula for this.
It's right here. Ain't it? That's the formula right there. Oh, that's not it? Oh, that's what I did.
That's a different one.
I got 5. I got 10. But I got 10 too. But then I thought we had to. I know I did it right.
Learn in the bit. Let's stop playing.
Why you do it? You do it.
Smart.
Hey, you do 15 times 4?
I did that. And then 6 times 8.
That's what I did.
What'd you get?
You multiply across. You know how to say you multiply
Hold on, look.
across.
That's what I did. Look. 15 times 4. I got 60. And then
This is easy.
Look, if you have,
60.
if you have something like this, right?
6 times 4.
If this is A and this is B, C and D, right? Multiply A times B, right? B equals to C times D. Okay? So, multiply across the line and equate them.
I get it now.
Did you get it? You got it?
Wait, can we do another one? Mr. Charles, can we do another one like that?
You close, bro.
I did it. This 10th grade was ridiculous.
Multiply this way.
They should never gave me a period. Picture, my cousin don't got a period.
Oh, we finna leave.
Alright, guys.
I get it.
All the best.